Republicans try to find a replacement for ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
For almost a week, there has been no Speaker of the House. The chamber is paralyzed.
Two candidates are entering the Republican race to be the next Speaker of the House.
First two have announced Steve Scalise, the current #2 Republican in the House, and Jim Jordan, well known as the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee.
And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, oh, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. Mr. Speaker, you are out of compliance with the agreement that allowed you to assume this role. The path forward for the House of Representatives is to either bring you into immediate total compliance or remove you pursuant to a motion to vacate the chair.
Let me remind everybody, we have 10 legislative days before September 30th. That's 10 days left for us to do our jobs and prevent a government shutdown. And unless a miracle happens, God help us, I don't see how this is going to work out.
You know, the American people have had enough of the Green New Deal mandates.
Milk is full of rich nutrients that support bone growth and development, and millions of children enjoy drinking it.
What's bad is school lunches today. You know how I know? Because kids don't want to eat them. So all the nutrition they're getting, they're not getting because they don't want them.
With due respect, sir, the farmers in my district recognize climate change as summer, winter, spring, and fall.
Sure, if you want to call Mr. Skelly a her, his chromosomes are still XY, and we trust the science over here.
The federal government of the United States is shutting down on Saturday because a handful of MAGA Republicans didn't get everything they wanted. And I got to tell you, that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing for our country.
Do you believe the government is going to shut down?
Yes, and it's Kevin McCarthy's fault that the government is going to shut down because we didn't move individual spending bills.
With just hours to spare before a midnight deadline, Congress has reached an agreement to avert a government shutdown.
But Speaker McCarthy immediately took heat from some conservative Republicans for cutting a deal with Democrats.
The solution for Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was reliant on Democratic votes.
Were you confident we wouldn't shut down?
I was confident I could get something on the floor to make sure the option that we would not.
But
that
you weren't
our
sure
military,
it was going to pass.
Well, I wasn't sure it was going to pass. You want to know why? Because the Democrats tried to do everything they can not to let it pass. They did
Democrats were the ones who voted for this in a larger number than Republicans to keep the continuing resolution alive.
Did you watch the floor yesterday?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
90 Republicans voted against it.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida now seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House.
The gentleman will state the form of his resolution.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
The Speaker fought through 15 votes in January to become Speaker, but was only willing to fight through one failed CR before surrendering to the Democrats on Saturday.
They're willing to plunge this body into chaos and this country into uncertainty for reasons that only they really understand. I certainly don't.
Mr. Speaker, my friend from Oklahoma says that my colleagues and I who don't support Kevin McCarthy would plunge the House and the country into chaos. Chaos is Speaker McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy has earned this. Under Speaker McCarthy's leadership, our House Republican majority has actually defied all odds and overperformed expectations again and again and again.
The opening line of my colleague's speech was that Speaker McCarthy always overperforms expectations, but after tweeting, "Bring it," and after engaging in profane-laced tirades at House conference, he just lost a motion to table. So I wouldn't necessarily consider that overperforming expectations.
And all of a sudden, my phone keeps sending text messages. Text messages saying, hey, give me money. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, give me money. I filed the motion to vacate. Using official actions to raise money. It's disgusting. It's what's disgusting about Washington.
I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you.
On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Some Democrats I've heard were a little put out, to put it mildly, when Speaker McCarthy did not suggest to them that they were helpful.
Right.
He scorned them. And they took that personally and said, wait a minute, we just helped you, and now you're laying down some fire against us?
It was the course of that conversation that apparently changed some minds within the Democratic Party about whether they would help to keep him in power or not, because you had to get to that 218.
Look, you all know Matt Gaetz. You know it was personal. It had nothing to do about spending. It had nothing to do about everything he accused somebody of he was doing. It all was about getting attention from you.
Kevin McCarthy is a feature of the swamp. He has risen to power by collecting special interest money and redistributing that money in exchange for favors. The reason Kevin McCarthy went down today is because nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy.
He says he's coming for you. Can you survive?
Yes, I'll survive.